I know. Finally live. I kept getting knocked off the internet. See this chat. Welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. I've got a new setup here. You guys may have noticed. Still trying to get things the way I want them. What's going on here? I should try and find the chat. Where is the chat? There it is. Show chat. It's not working. Working out a few bugs here, people. New setup I've got here. It's been a while since I've been on back home. Oh, there we go. That's better. Let me get rid of this one. Hello, Colleen. I see you're the first person in the chat today. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Why isn't this changing field? Okay. Just gonna have to leave it like that, I guess. Hello, Nancy. Oh, Nancy was the first one. And Nancy loves John a lot. Let's see if I refresh this, if that'll help. RS Fitness. That name sounds familiar. I know you from by another name, I know. Try this again down here. Detach chat. Nothing seems to be working right. Okay. Some notes here. So before can you tell me in the chat, does everything look okay? How do you like my new studio setup? Got new lighting, new background, and I got a little surprise for you over here. You may have noticed, no longer do I have to tilt the camera down. Hello, Sandy Walters. No longer do I have to, oh, hi, uh, Rose. It's RG, Rose. Looks good, looks nice. Thank you, Colleen. So, before I get into talking about stuff I want to talk about, I'd like to let you guys know how you can book a session with me. And I just have to sing my own praises here for a minute because I really feel like I'm at the top of my game right now as far as my readings go. I've never been better. And if you have some questions, would like some guidance in life, I know I could help you with it. So if you'd like to book a reading with me, come down here to book a reading. I'm back home in Thailand and open for business. My fees right now are 30 minutes for $50, 60 minutes for $85, and 10 minutes for every 10 minutes past 1 hour. This is only like if you really want that. I don't include in that like time that I spend chit-chatting with my clients to get to know them. And now if you decide you do want to book a reading with me, and when you after you book a reading with me, first you come down here, book here, and this will take you to my booking site. Okay. Um, all the times and days that you see here will appear in your local time. Right. So you click on the time you want, you write your name. This is the name that everybody can see. So if you want to remain anonymous, you might want to keep that in mind. And your email, and then you book that. That will send me a notification that you want to book that time. That doesn't mean you're confirmed booking. From there, I have to get back with you and make sure it's confirmed, and and then you're all set. After you do that, you're going to want to pay. So, or actually, first you should come over here and join the Telegram group that's for people who want to book with me. This is so we can have easy communications about setting up time. Sometimes it can get confusing with time zones and everything. Um, so a lot of people don't know that Telegram is open Telegram desktop. Telegram is communications app. It's not just for sharing videos and things like that. You can, okay, so this is my group, but you can also communicate through phone calls, and you got up here, you got, well, if you go to your main page, anyways, there's you got video calls, you got telephone calls, you got chat messages, everything else you can do with Telegram. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. Okay, and so join that group. All right. So once you join that group, now you can pay the old way. If you're familiar with buying a coffee, you can pay that way. But now I have a, a bank account with Bank of America. You can pay there. You can pay now through PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee. You can also do direct transfers if you also have used Bank of America. Okay, here's my email address that you type in to pay by PayPal, Zelle, or Cash App. Also, Buy Me a Coffee. You'll need that. If none of those work for you, you can always use MoneyGram. MoneyGram's a safe, dependable way to wire money. I've been using it for over a decade. Okay, now I did have to add this rescheduling fee. It's a $10, and I don't apply this all the time. It's like this would have to be like really egregious thing. Like I've confirmed with you. I know that you know the time, and for some reason you missed it. Now, I mean, if you say, "Hey, my car broke down," I had, you have a good reason. Of course, I'm not going to make it, and I'm probably not going to enforce this $10 scheduling fee. This is more like just incentive to get people to to be on time and to not reschedule. Okay. Now these are my fees right now, but they are going to be going up over the next year or over the next few months to the end of the year. One thing I learned about going to America, I should say I learned from going to America. One of the things I learned is I've been undervaluing myself. Um, it's true. I've been saying that. See how I get out of this. I've been saying that because I live in Southeast Asia and it is so cheap for me here. Change my view here. That's why I've always been able to offer the cheaper rates. Okay, but it's time for that to change. It's time for me to change my thinking about what I'm worth as a tarot card reader. I believe that I'm just as good as any of the people who get $120 an hour. Um, but I'm going to give it time before I get up to that. So now would be a good time to get in and get your bookings now before the prices go up. Okay, looking at the screen, just checking my message or the chat. Okay, so and to be honest with you, things are a little slow right now, so I really could use the work. And anyways, that's my plug for myself. Be looking forward to getting some bookings from you guys soon. If you have any questions about how to book or anything else, you can always contact me through email. You got my email address there. Okay, so and before I want to go on and talk about my trip to America, which was very enlightening, uh, I want to do a tribute to Mia Noi. Try not to cry. My amazing cat that I had for almost 20 years, 18 years. I want to share this June. I want to talk about Mia a little bit. Okay, so um, that's not her. So unfortunately, a couple of days ago, I came home to find Mia had passed away, and I can't really be sad about it because she had an amazing life, 18 years, which when you think about how difficult it is to take care of an animal pet in Thailand, there's so many dangers. And she went through 9 house changes. I think I moved at least 9 or 10 or 11 times with her. So many different cities. And she, there's Sandy. Sandy was confused. She's never seen death before. And I gave her a nice, I took her to the temple where they cremated her, and then they sent me her ashes. And I just want to pay a tribute to, sorry, like I said, I really can't be sad. This cat was the one soul who was with me the entire, almost the entire 20 years I've been here, 18 years. She's the one being who was with me the whole time. So I said my goodbyes. And there was something I wanted to mention about her. I found her, I'd gone for my morning walk. I was only gone for about an hour. She was alive when I left. Her head was up, and she was able to hold her head up. And and she was, she knew what was going on around her still. But when I got back, she had already starting to stiffen up. So I knelt down and I put my hand on her, expecting her to feel stiff and cold, which she was stiff and she was cooling. However, there was this vibration I felt coming from her body that I've never experienced anything like that before. I don't know what that was. So if anybody knows what happens why why that would happen. It almost felt like hurrying, which of course is impossible. So, anyways, goodbye, Mia. You are a great cat, and you'll be missed. Nina used to call her security because at night, she would patrol the perimeter of the house. Okay, so things I learned on my trip. Well, first off, like I said, how expensive everything is, and I this is not going to be it's not going to be another 20 years before I get back to America again. Of course, with my mom's health failing, I need to be home again for that soon. And I plan on making it a yearly trip back to America once a year. And so to do that, that's one reason why I got to raise my prices. I need to stop thinking like I'm Thai living in Thailand and all my bills are cheap, therefore I can pass that on to you. I still have to go home to America and I have to pay for plane tickets, which are very expensive, and I have to pay for food there and transportation there, which is very expensive. So over the next year, I will be raising my fees, like I said before. Okay. So yeah, that's one thing I noticed. Another thing I noticed, um, more so in Florida, I guess, because I also went to Pennsylvania, which I'll tell you about that in a minute. Um, but yeah, a lot of immigrants. Um, I was wondering if I would see a noticeable amount of like new people, new Americans. And I could speak to immigrants in a way that almost none of you can because I'm an immigrant here in Thailand. Um, I came here and I have to get a visa, had to get work permits when I was working, and I have to keep everything above board. I've learned to speak Thai, pamput pasa Thai doi, you know, and respect the culture and respect the people who have been so gracious as to allow me to live here for 20 years. And so, yeah, when I met people who were obviously immigrants in America, I could relate to them that way. Taking a pause here to take a look at the chat. And so yeah. And of course, my hometown, Florida, completely changed. It's completely different. There were there was a shooting not far away from my house where a young child was taken off the earth. I went to my favorite beach and it was just overrun with people, or normally that would have been pretty much a deserted beach at that time of day. It was just completely overrun with people. I could tell most of them were from not another country, but just from the north. A lot of homeless people, a lot of very dangerous looking homeless people gathered up at the beach. Um, so it didn't feel like really like home so much. It changed so much I didn't even recognize it. On a happier note, um, I did have several people come to welcome me from people who know me from YouTube. Honey was there, and she brought her. Oh, maybe that's who you meant by John. Um, Earlier when you said you love John. Honey brought her husband, John, who I got to meet, and I didn't spend a lot of time talking to him, but I got to know him a little bit, and I was very impressed. What a great man he is. So, honey, you're very lucky to have such a great partner in life as you have. And so we had a really nice just get together. At one point, I just paused and looked around how everybody was just chatting and being so friendly, and it was so nice. And by the way, something weird happened on that day, and I can't help to think it was because we had gathered all these powerful energies into one place. There was a solar flare that weekend, and then the Monday after the meeting, the the heat or the UV index hit 11, which was like a 50-year record in Florida. I ended up getting sunburned, which I never get sunburned, and it was a heat wave, like a massive heat wave that where it shouldn't have been that hot, and I couldn't help thinking that we caused that by having all these powerful energies gathered in one place. Um, so I want to thank everybody who came, especially Honey. I was not expecting that. I didn't want to be as forward as to ask her if she could come, but she did. She knew how important this was for me to be coming home and my family to be seeing the changes that have come over me and how I've really become the person that I was meant to be. That helped, I think, help my family understand, pardon me, exactly who I am, because I don't think they've ever taken me seriously up until recently when they see the things that have been happening around me, like the bicycle. I got to tell you the story about the bike real quick. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of it, but I knew I wasn't going to have a driver's license. I wasn't going to be able to drive when I got home to Florida. So I asked my sister to ask around if she knew anybody who had a bicycle that I could borrow. That's all. I just wanted to borrow a bicycle. And I would ask my friends. And I told her that the universe would provide this. Um, and I told her very clearly not to buy a bicycle, that I would manifest one from somewhere, somehow, somebody would have a bicycle for me. Well, about a week before I was to arrive in Florida, she calls me and she says, "Look, nobody's got one to borrow, so I bought this one." And I'm like, "Okay, I didn't want it to happen that way. I wanted it to be a manifestation." But then I thought, well, okay, well, maybe this is the universe's way of manifesting it. And so I get to my sister's house, and I'm in the backyard with my buddy Frank Schultz, Frank the Tank, my ASEA partner, and my sister. We're sitting in the back, and my brother-in-law comes home, and he opens the back door and he says, "Hey, Scott, you still need that bicycle?" I said, "Yeah, well, this one my sister Maria got me. A, it's a girl's bike. B, it's a 21 speed, which is like couldn't figure out how to work the gears on it, and you don't need a 21 speed in Florida. And B, it's too small for me. So yeah, I do need a bike." And he goes, he owns a cell phone store where he sells SIM cards and he repairs cell phones. He says, "Well, I had a client just show up who says who owed me some money, and he gave me a bicycle in barter in exchange. This has never happened to him before. He doesn't have people giving him bicycles every day as payment." He says, "You want it?" I said, "Well, yeah, I want it if it's better than this one." So he pulls it out of his car, and this is the most amazing bicycle I've ever had. I felt like a kid on Christmas morning who woke up to find a brand new bicycle under the tree. It was a Schwinn, but the most amazing thing was it was a retro style that was copied from the 1950s bike, which is called a Corvette. Okay, so it's styled after the Chevrolet Corvette car. And it's got Corvette emblazoned on the side. And it's kind of like a beach cruiser bicycle. It's a one gear. It's got um, it's got a really comfortable seat on it, big tires, and I just fell in love with it. But the big thing was this was the bike that I manifested. This was why I told my sister, do not buy a bike. And I got so excited when I saw this, I started jumping up and down. I'm telling my sister, I told you I would manifest the bicycle. And I'm like, now do you believe me? Now do you understand what it is I'm doing? By the way, hi Cherie. I saw you enter quietly into the meeting. And I believe that that happened as proof of evidence, evidence of proof, whatever you want to say. Listen to Scott, my family, who has never really taken me seriously. I've always felt like they've placated me with, you know, just what's the word? Just gone along, you know, like, yeah, Scott, sure, you know, sure these things are true, Scott. But now they have like this evidence happening right from one thing, 12 people or 11 people traveled from across the country to greet me. I mean, that should tell you something right there, right? That this is the love and respect that I've garnered from people because of the message that I have to bring, which is one of hope and prosperity and abundance and connectedness to the universe. But yeah, that bicycle was uh, was a trip. So yeah, that meeting was great. I wish it could have lasted longer. Didn't feel like we had enough time together, but special thank you to everybody who showed up, but especially to um, Honey, because she had just gone through a difficult time of her own, that she was able to come from that. And well, yeah, she went to meet John's mother, who was in, I think, Pensacola, Florida. But still, I mean, that, and then Frank also came from Colorado, and then some other people came from very far away. And I'm not going to name everybody individually, but thank you to everybody who was there for that. It was a great, it really, you really made me feel welcome and loved, which was something I really needed. And we all do, I guess. Okay. Now, oh, I got to tell you about this thing that happened when I went to Pennsylvania. First off, let me check the chat here. You guys still with me? I know this is not going to be a very popular video. It's not going to be very, I'm not sharing a bunch of, although I did get some updates from Tina, my benefactor, who has is gifting me what I'm calling my own personal Nasara Jasara, because anyways, she's got an up I've got an update for you. I'm going to do that in a separate video another day. And just checking chat here, see if you guys have any comments about things that I just said. All right, thank you, Colleen. Cherie, can you come in and say hello
Yes.
so I don't feel so lonely?
I'm here.
How am I
It
looking
looks
on
good.
the screen, Cherie? I'm not
Uh,
covering my face with the cards
Nope,
or
you're
the card.
perfect.
You see the way I do it. So I'm just keeping it. I didn't change anything this time. So all right, Shri, feel free to chime in with any comments on my stories as I'm talking here. Okay.
Oh, I think they're fascinating.
That bicycle, I mean, that still just blows me away, you know? Okay. And so the other thing is when I went to, I had this idea. Well, let me explain this. I hiked, as you all know, and by the way, you see this? I brought this back from America. This is this was a sapling that I found on the Appalachian Trail because I needed I you see in the picture here. Oh, let's see. I'm turned around now because of my screen. So you see there, I had two sticks that I hiked with. In Maine, I lost one of them, and I felt like lopsided with only one stick. A friend of mine went out to the woods and he found this white pine sapling that had died and was standing up. He pulled it up out of the ground. I brought it home and I added this strap to it. And at the time, it didn't have the lacquer, gloss, or the plaque on it. And this became my other walking stick. The reason I have one over here is because I have a beer in my hand and I couldn't hold two sticks. And everybody else has a picture of holding two sticks up. I want to be different. But this is the original stick. When I got home, I lacquered it. I like to preserve it, and I put this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a plaque commemorating the Appalachian Trail. And I feel like this sapling tree that was given to me as a gift and I carried with me on the last part of the trail has special energies imbued into it. And I felt separated for a long time from it when I didn't have it. So I was really happy to be able to bring that back from America. Okay, so I want to tell you what happened with these SIM cards. Um, and about the story. So the year that I hiked was 1999. I got a message on my group, my Facebook group, from the class of 99 that hiked that year, that there was going to be a reunion in a place called Pine Grove Furnace National or State Park in Pennsylvania. And so I got real excited about this because it happened at the time of the year when I was going to be in America. So I was home for a week and then I booked my ticket to Pennsylvania. And after I'd already booked my ticket, I see an update in the group that it had been canceled. Nobody was going to be there. Well,
Hmm.
I figured I already had the ticket, domestic flight there, and I needed to be up on the Appalachian Trail one more time. So I figured that also at this place, the state park, Pine Furnace State Park, there's the Appalachian Trail Museum. And there would be a lot of through hikers. The trail was right nearby there. I planned on doing something called trail angeling. I was going to buy a bunch of like snacks and drinks and go up to the trail and hand them out to people and talk to people and to be honest with you, I was going to bask a little bit in the glory of having been a pass through hiker, see my name in the book from 1999 where I signed it, and get a little bit of adulation because when you're a through hiker and you meet other hikers who are trying to do what you did, you're kind of a hero figure to them. You're a celebrity in a lot of ways. And I was looking forward to that, talking about the trail, meeting hikers, seeing how things have changed. I was just really, really looking forward to this. So I figured, screw it. I'll go to Pennsylvania. I'll go to the state park, and I'll be amongst my people again, my fellow through hikers. But here's where it gets crazy. Now, before I tell you about what happened, I have to tell you that my SIM card from Thailand, I got a international roaming package, paid like $70 for it. It was working fine in Florida. And I needed an American phone number. So my brother-in-law, who that's what he does, he set me up with an AT&T unlimited voice SIM card. That was also working perfectly fine when I was in Florida. So I get off the plane in Pennsylvania. First thing I try to do is connect to the internet, and I couldn't do it with my SIM card from Thailand, which should have been working, was working up until then, didn't work. Couldn't connect to the internet. So then I tried using the voice call with my AT&T SIM card. It didn't work. And so I sat down with this really nice Gen Zer, a young lady named Delaney, and I'm like, hey, I'm an old guy. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong. Can you help me figure this out? She had some free time between flights. So we spent like half hour trying to figure it out. She couldn't figure it out. By the way, as we were talking, I told her about changes that are happening in this world and how there's a lot of reasons to have hope and about the coming golden age. I told her all this stuff, and I could see her. She lit up as I told her this, and she was really willing to accept it. She wasn't skeptical. She wasn't jaded. She was very open to it. And I mentioned, how this had to do with Donald Trump and how he really was a good guy and he really was working for the people. She didn't, she's somebody you would expect to go, oh no, that can't be true. But she wasn't. She was very open to it. Made me feel really good. Gave me hope for the youth of America. So when she couldn't help me, I finally got my brother-in-law on the line because I'm using now the internet, the airport internet, and he won all over everything. Couldn't figure out, and I'm asking him, what do you think could be the problem? He's like, I don't know. This is a mystery. This is really strange, Scott. I don't understand why this is happening. So I had to leave the airport with no communications, and I can't even remember how I got. I think I got a yeah, I got a taxi from the airport like into town, and then um, I went to an AT&T shop. So first I went to an IHOP, which was amazing because I haven't eaten at a diner like that, forever, more than 20 years because I didn't eat there very often. And that was amazing and also shocking at the price of it. And and then I went right next door was the AT&T shop. So I walk in there and there are two nice guys there. One was John and the other one was the manager. I forget his name. But again, these guys look at everything and they say, we can't figure out what the problem is here. So I pulled out my cards and I said, well, let me ask my cards what's going on. And I got the strangest answer from my cards. I had my higher self had somehow done this in order for me to have a unique experience that I hadn't planned. Because at this point, nothing's going to plan. I'm not able to connect uh, with any hikers. So um, so then John, this guy John, who's working there, says, "Hey, that's really interesting what you do. I'm really in a bad situation in life right now. I could do some guidance. Could you do a reading for me?" And I said, "Sure. However, there has to be an exchange of some kind. I'm not, you could give me $1, or actually, I forgot my charger for my phones back in Florida. Could you hook me up with a charger and we'll call it an equal exchange?" And the manager says, yeah, sure, I'll do that to help John out. So the manager gives me a brand new charger, which that was pretty cool. And then I give this reading to John. You guys can see it on my one of my live streams because I was live streaming from there. And Cherie, you saw this, right?
Yes, I did.
And I could see a physical change come over John at the end of this reading. And now, this trip, I didn't accomplish any of the things that I'd set out to do. I never made it to the state park, never got to hook up with any Appalachian Trail hikers, and it cost me a lot of money. I ended up spending a lot of money, and I ended up walking like 10 miles that day on the streets of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And it was a complete bust compared to what I was thought I was going to accomplish. However, and this is the way I look at it, if that helped John, and by the way, he's an author. And do you have that book, Cherie? Can you plug his book?
Yes. So let me go grab it out of my
You you
suitcase.
you
Hold on.
do you do that. So one of the things, when he told me that he's an author and he's trying to break out of the matrix by doing this, I said, "Well, tell us about your book." And it turns out it sounds like a really good book too. Cherie's going to be reading it. She can give us a rundown on it. But who knows? Maybe that chance encounter with that man and giving him that reading at that time was what he needed. Something, maybe it changed the trajectory of his life at that moment. And that's why I was sent there. And that's why another reason why my SIM cards didn't work. And I went through a very challenging time. It was not really enjoyable for me. Um, but it was
Okay.
yeah, you have it, Sheree.
Yep, I got it.
What's his full name?
John Seltzer. Seltzer. The
Seltzer.
name of
Okay.
it is Strong.
I'm sorry. What's the name of it?
Strong.
Strong. And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a what do you call it? It's a historical fiction. And
Yep.
have you started reading it yet, Sheree?
Yeah, I'm about three-quarters of the way through. I didn't really have time to read on my vacation,
Hmm.
just on train, but it is not the type of format that I'm used to, but it's interesting.
Okay. Well, regardless, you know, if if I helped him in some way with what he was going through, uh, then that's the reason why the universe wanted me to be there, and also just for me to see another part of America that was outside of Florida. And I have to say that everyone I spoke to, except for the old man who wanted to hit me because I startled him by accident, um, everybody seemed very open to my positive message that I had. Everybody seems really ready for some kind of positive change in the country. It was very encouraging, actually. Um,
Man, we are definitely ready for a change, positive
and
changes.
and even this old man who I don't blame him for being upset with me. I mean, I wish he would have accepted my sincere apology a little bit better. But what happened was I was coming down from my room to go to the front office to ask about something, and I came out of the breezeway, and he had been just ahead of me. So when I came out around the corner, I was walking behind him, and my footfalls were very silent, and I was kind of approaching him because he was walking slower than I was, and I cleared my throat to introduce myself. And as I cleared my throat, it startled him, and he turned around quickly, and I immediately said, "Hi, I'm sorry, I'm my name's Scott, and how are you?" And he said, "I almost hit you." And then later on, he must have thought I was a homeless person or something because I was trying to get the manager to let me stay past checkout because I had nowhere to go after 11 o'clock, to which he flatly refused and kicked me out. But when I came out, that old man was sitting there and he was going through his wallet. I thought this is weird how he's just standing there. I was watching him from inside for a long time, just standing there with his back to the entrance, waiting for me to come out. And then I wanted to explain to him, why that happened. And I had my phone in my hand, I had my YouTube channel, and go, look, I've got almost 12,000 subscribers on YouTube. I am not a homeless person. And he goes, I thought you were going to ask me for money. He was sitting there waiting for me to ask him for money so that he could refuse me. You know what I mean? And and I still felt really bad about it. And I was trying to, he told me he was a veteran. I told him thank you for your service. By the way, it was Memorial Day that weekend. And then he gets mad at me for telling him thank you for your service. He says, I hate it when people say that. So so that morning I had 4 beers left of a 6 pack I'd bought the night before. And I didn't want them. I wasn't going to travel with them. So I took them to the manager and I said, can you please give these to the old man that was angry at me earlier? And tell him I said, I hope he has a great day. So hopefully that may have softened his mood a little bit for that day.
I hope so.
Okay, so yeah, this kind of catches me up. Like I said, the overall feeling I got from the American people was one of hope and optimism and ready for and realizing the great awakening is happening. People are waking up. Think I saw that amongst a lot of my friends too. So that was really encouraging.
Good.
Now, this next thing I want to talk about is when I went to open my bank account at Bank of America.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Couple of really fascinating things happened here. For one thing, the manager remembered me from when I closed my account 21 years ago, which was pretty cool. Because I guess you don't meet very many people who say, "Hey, I'm closing my account because I'm going to live in Thailand." so, so that was pretty cool that this guy remembered me. And I say, okay, I need to get this bank account open. He's like, okay, Mr. Yates, give me your information. Give him my social security number. He's typing, and I see his brow furrow, like confusion or consternation or something's wrong. And so I ask him, is there a problem? And he says, well, Scott, it looks like you're not in the system anymore. And I said, yes, mission accomplished. You talk about people leaving the matrix. I wasn't even in the matrix anymore. And that felt pretty good, I have to say. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, well, Scott, if you left the matrix, why did you get back into it? Well, because it's a different game now, I believe. I believe that the financial system is now completely under the control of the alliance and the white hats. I have no qualms about being in the system now. I really need it to make things easier in my life. And I think I proved my point that you can completely get out of the system and still live thrive as I have in Thailand. So that felt really good. And then the other strange thing that happened was on this day I was opening a savings account. So I had a pen that I travel with, and I used it a couple of times in the airport when I had to sign documents and fill out forms and stuff. And it was working just fine. And when the bank officer gives me the document to sign to open my savings account, my pen didn't work. The ink came out very light, and it was looked like a ghost of a signature. And I thought to myself, that's strange. This pen was just working a moment ago. And so he hands me another pen, and I use his, and I sign the document. Um, the next week on Monday, I go back, and this time I needed to get because I want to try to build my credit back up. So I got myself a what's called a secured credit card. I put $200 of my own money into a credit card, and as I use it, it'll build my credit back up. And I had to sign another document. This time, he hands me a pen before I could get out my pen. Fine, I grab his pen and I go to sign. The same thing happened with my pen that had been working just fine. I get this ghost signature, right? And the young man who handed me the pen said, "That's strange. That pen was working fine just a moment ago." And he hands me another pen, and then I use that one to sign. It wasn't until I got home a little bit later that I started thinking about both times I tried to sign a legal document regarding a financial system. I got this ghost signature. And that's when it struck me. This was the universe telling me, because this is a completely new system, that it's like the old system's dead and this is a new system. It was a sign. I believe that I with all the things that have been happening to me recently with the 777s and these mysterious manifestations and always being at the right place at the right time, I took it as a sign. And it to be honest with you, I was at my sister's house telling my sister about this, and something came over me where I started to hyperventilate and I kept repeating over and over again, "Oh my God, this is happening." Because the things with the gifts that I've been told I'm going to receive from Tina, which now I haven't been able to read all her emails, but it looks like there are things happening that are really looking like it's going to happen. Okay. I'm going to do a video about this later on. I mean, it's hard to believe that this could happen, but it looks like it's really happening, people. And it's my personal Nasara Jasara. If it happens for me now, that means it's going to happen for all of you, all of us, eventually. Okay. I'm just maybe one of the lucky ones who got it first. Um, so, anyways, I started hyperventilating and I almost passed out. I had to lay down because it was this overwhelming, like, realization that this is happening. So I'm not going to be answering any more questions that people ask me about Nasara Jasara. Is it happening? I'm telling you it's happening. Okay. And I've got some insider information from someone who made me promise to not talk about it. One of my clients told me it was going to be happening right around the same time. I get the email from Tina that tells me that I'm going to be getting a house and a warehouse and a jet plane and a brand new Lexus and all this other stuff. Right. So it's happening. Just give it time to trickle down to everybody. I think it's happening for me now to give you guys hope, you know. So let's wait and see what happens. So that was my experience at the bank. And would you have any thoughts on that, Sheree? Take a pause for a moment here from speaking.
I just thought it was just absolutely anything ever. The universe showing you all this stuff while you were on your trip. I mean, it's definitely things are in motion.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen, for your booking, and thank you for reminding me that I had to talk about this. This was another amazing synchronicity going back to Mia when Mia passed away. The day before Mia passed away, I had a booking with Karen, just gonna call her Karen. And through the course of our session, I asked her what it is she does for a living. She says, "I offer at home euthanasia for cats and dogs that are suffering in their last moments, their last days of life." What?
Wow.
How could this be? Sorry. That this is what I was going through. By the way, we don't have euthanasia in Thailand. I was my cat was suffering. I contacted a guy who's I have a personal contact with him who's a vet. I asked him if he could euthanize my cat for me to put her out of her suffering. He said, no, sorry, I don't have that protocol. They don't do it in Thailand, which absolutely drives me crazy. But
Mm.
but here I was speaking with an expert on the field. So I had all these questions for her about what I should do to help Mia through the sorry through the
Completely
process.
understandable.
But the point here is, what are the odds? And she answered all my questions. She made me feel much better. What were the odds that the person that I needed to speak with was here right now at this time? So, anyways, um, ah, sorry.
No, completely understandable. It had to have been hard to go through.
Uh, I'm going to pause for just a moment here. Okay. All right. Back.
Okay.
So, I mean, these synchronicities have been happening with me like so much now. It's just, I don't know. It's sometimes it's a little bit hard to accept that this world is so much more magical than we ever thought. Okay. So, and the thing about Karen, I want to mention that I haven't been able to share it yet. She has a, a Facebook page for anybody else who's dealing with a pet who's at the end of their lifespan. Um, yeah, Karen, if you're in the chat and if anybody can keep an eye out for it, if you could post your a link to your Facebook page or because I told her I was going to do it because I think she could help a lot of people who are going through what I went through with the loss of my cat. I'll have to do it at a later date. I'm not going to go search for it now. Should have been prepared for it. But anyways, thank you, Karen, for the booking. I really appreciate that. And okay, I got a list of things here. Like I said, the Bank of America, and I have to talk about my nephew Andre for a moment because oops, this I was blown away by this kid. I say kid, he's 33 now, but I want to show you a picture of him, he and I together. So I've been hearing all this, a lot of people, my mother and sister, telling me about my nephew Andre. I really haven't spoken to much at all. I We lived together. I lived with his mom, him and his mom and his stepfather up in North Carolina for about 6 months before I went hiking on the Appalachian Trail. He was only a just a young child at the time, and here's a picture of him right here. I'm going to share with you guys because I need to talk about this young man for a moment. This is Andre. Something really strange happened. If you see, he's no bigger in stature than I am, really, and maybe just a little bit broader at the shoulders. Might be an inch or two taller than me. Okay, but when he came to pick me up at the airport, and I hadn't seen this kid since he was a skinny little, I don't know, 5 or 6 year old or something like that. And when he greeted me at the airport, to me he looked huge. He looked like he was 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I mean, I just saw this huge, broad man, which I wasn't expecting. And then we started talking. We talked for the whole way home. Then we talked for the entire time I was there. I spent more time with him than I did with anybody else there. And to come to find out that he was on a parallel, equal, but different experience as I. He is a shaman in his own right. He uses art to express his metaphysical understandings, where I use words and my cards. He is way more advanced than I was at his age of 33, and I'm happy to say that I was his role model. He saw me from afar. He saw what I was doing. He knew about my philosophy of life, how to live life, and he took that as a model and he went his own way with it. And I could not be more impressed with the man that he is. And hopefully, I will be using his art. Oops. Yeah, I will be showing using his art as educational tool to help in the future. So, anyways, I just had to give Andre a plug there, and I have to admit I take a little bit of pride in him because, like I said, I was an influence in his what he became. So yeah. Anyways, I love you, Andre. If you see this, um, okay, and this is this live stream is once again all about me. So hope you guys don't mind. I got something special coming up for you. More about Nasara Jasara and my gifts that are coming to me. Like I said, I haven't read all the emails, but I saw some things in there that were very encouraging. So the other
Good.
thing, what's that, Sheree?
And I said, good.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I got to reconnect with family members who I haven't spoken with in a long time. My sister Angel, who is a clairvoyant. Well, she's clairvoyant, but also she's a medium. And when I started this channel, I thought it would be great to do a brother sister thing where she would come in and join me, and we would do, brother sister type thing because she's extremely gifted in her abilities. but she wouldn't answer me. I mean, like she wouldn't even talk to me. I tried so many times just to get her on the line, and I hadn't talked and spoken to her for a long time. And not we never had a problem, never argued, never didn't have any fights or anything, but she just was ignoring me. And to be honest with you, this hurt me and it made me really angry. I couldn't understand why my little sister, who I love so dearly, and it was just ignoring me. And so finally, when I got a chance to talk to her, by the way, this was true of everybody who I had this problem with. My best friend Ron, who I thought had completely ghosted me and just given up on me. Everybody was going through horrendous life challenges at this time that I wasn't aware of. And they were incapable of reaching out. And it wasn't because they didn't care about me, didn't love me. It's just that they were dealing with, like in Angel's case, she still hasn't told me all the details of what she was going through. But but one thing I told her, I said, look, but that's no excuse for not making yourself available. So I, by the way, it's what I do for a living is help people get through stuff like this. You could have talked to me. I could have counseled you. I could have used my cards to help you. I could have given you words of encouragement. I could have helped you. I do it almost every week in my sessions with people. People, when people have a session with me, they come away, everybody says it, how they feel lighter, they feel more optimistic, they feel uplifted, they have hope now after a reading from me. And I couldn't do this for my own sister, you know? So, so I made her promise now to stay in contact with me. So I've got that with her, and it was all everything was forgiven between us. I had no reason to be unhappy with her. Then my brother Chuck, who I haven't spoken to in I don't know over about 15 years. And the reason I broke off communications with my brother was because I'd been here for like 3 years in Thailand, and in that time nobody reached out to me. Nobody picked up the phone to call me, and including my family, except for my mom, you know, which is like, yeah, well, at least your mother loves you. Well, your mother is your mother. She doesn't have any choice, right? But yeah, mommy loves me. Nobody else seems to care, but mommy does. Anyways, but it was when I got this form letter on Christmas from my brother listing his accomplishments for the year and with a picture of his beautiful family, and then my name was just added to the top. So like, 100 people got this letter and I was just one of them. I'm like, you can't even just pick up the phone, call me, and say, "Hey, brother, how are you doing over there in Thailand?" 3 years later. So I'm like, and yeah, he's just that way. I mean, everybody's like, that's just Chuck. And by the way, he went on from that time to start a company, Sea Deck, putting accessories onto boats. And he worked really, really hard. He told me at one point that he was up till midnight and up at 4 a.m. every day for I don't know how many years when he was running that company.
Oh,
So he was, I don't know if he ever found time for rest and relaxation in that time, but he would go to bed at midnight and up at 4 and start working at 4 a.m. That's what you have to do to become a millionaire. Okay. Because he sold his company, I think last year for I don't know how many multi millions of dollars. So yeah, my brother Chuck's a millionaire now.
wow.
However, he gave up how many years of his life to do it? And now he has an aneurysm. Well, maybe I shouldn't talk about that. It's personal. Sorry. Now his health is not well, and he's got to take a bunch of drugs to keep him alive, you
Mm,
know. And then when I asked him about the thing, he proudly announced that he got four of them, and he was so happy he did.
Oh my gosh.
I dropped it right there. I didn't. I only thing I said to him is, well, I just wouldn't get it because they wouldn't tell us what was in it, which is true, but that's just part of it, right? And his attitude, he got very defensive, and I could tell by the tone of his voice. He says, "Well, you don't know what's in Tylenol either, do you?" Well, you do, because they give you a paper that when you buy Tylenol of everything that's in it. They didn't do that with the thing that they put in your arm, right? And
Exactly.
my answer to him was, "Well, I don't take Tylenol either. I don't take anything pharmaceutical unless I really feel like I'm dying. And then I will. And then it's just things that I know what they are, things that have been tested, things that have been used and worked in the past, you know. But I dropped it because I didn't want to tell him. And he's got a problem now with his ticker, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's
but the fascinating thing with my brother, when we had this, it was a Thanksgiving in June for me because I'd missed every Thanksgiving for 20 years. So that's the one time of year that I really, really loved. I loved the turkey and all the food that came with it and getting together with family once a year to catch up. And so we had this special family, close friends and family gathering for me for Thanksgiving in June. I was able to sit down with my brother and tell him about some of the things that have been happening with me. The 777 synchronicity, for those of you who don't know, briefly, when I bought my ticket to go to America, I Googled how many days has it been since I left America and then when I actually touched down again. And the exact number of days was 7,770 days. This still freaks me out when I talk about it because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this because this is amazing. Not that. It was when I believe it was Linda in the chat, Linda Music, who says, "Scott, your name in simple gematria is 7770. My first name, Scott, is 77. My last name, Yates, is 70." So I told my brother this, and he could not dismiss the fact that this was really something amazing. And then I told him about, how some of the other things, and I can read people really well now, especially after doing this work that I do. And I looked in his eyes, and I did not see any like uh, cynicism. I didn't see any disbelief. I didn't see any you know, condescendingness that normally I would get from him. He seemed truly to understand how unique a situation this was. So that felt really good to get that kind of confirmation or a bit of understanding from my brother. He sees that I'm not just some crazy guy who's imagining things. And also to have my nephew here now who by my side who's having these kinds of experiences and seeing these kinds of things. And I'm not the only one in the family anymore who's out, on the fringes of reality as far as they're concerned. And so that felt really good to connect with my brother in that way and to get that kind of what do you call it, like what's the word I'm looking for, recognition or something like that. Wasn't really recognition, just understanding.
rapport.
Right. So y'all know what happened with my mom. I don't need to talk about that anymore. um, that was a really hard thing that I went through with her, but it cleared a lot of shadow work that needed to be done on both of us. I feel like, unfortunately, I still don't think my mother understands who and what I am. She can't seem to wrap her head around that part of it, but that's okay. Um, I have to talk about my dad's presence the whole time I was there. That morning after I had that very difficult conversation with my mother, I was in a very emotional state, and I had nobody to talk to at the time. Nobody was available. None of the people who normally I would talk to. Cherie was still asleep. It was early where she was at. Other people that I confidants that I'd speak with were unavailable, and I just went outside and I sat under a tree, the same tree you see in that picture with all my family in front of it. My dad planted that tree, and there's a place at the base of it that's almost like a chair. It kind of wraps around you when you sit down there. So I sat there, I sat under that tree, and I grounded myself, and I thought about my father. And just then, I felt his arm, like,
He was there with you.
so. I felt his arm, and he said, "It's okay. She'll be okay." And and then, ah, damn it. So there's this thing about her. Hold on a second. I got to get it to show you. Just a minute. Gotta find it here. So for the last 20 years or so of my dad's life, he was smoking these Swisher Sweet cigars that have a plastic tip on the end of them. I don't know if can you see it
Hmm.
like this. And so my dad was pretty careless with these things, and he would toss them when he was outside working or just everywhere. And so, of course, naturally, after he passed, you'd expect to find them, right? They're heavy plastic. These do not deteriorate. They don't dissolve. They last for thousands of years, right? But things were happening where you would look somewhere. Everybody in the family, just about, I think, had this experience. You look somewhere, there's nothing there, and then you look back and there's a tip. We just call them tips for short. Dad's cigar tips. And I was telling mom about some of the experiences where I was feeling dad's presence there. And she goes, "Oh, wait till you find a tip." And I thought, it's been 13 years since my father passed away. Any of these things that have been laying around the house by now, or his yard, my sister's yard, because they're connected, they've been found by now. There's no way there's any more of these things left. Well, my nephew Andre had been working in the backyard. My mom's backyard and my sister's backyard are side by side, and he was cutting down limbs from my mom's side and throwing them over to my sister's side, and then I was helping him drag them out to the street. And I was taking a break. I'd put up a hammock. I went to sit down in this hammock, and I looked down, and right between my feet is a cigar tip. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Uh, Now, there's a little bit more to the story. Later on, I found out Andre had found it, and he put it on the picnic table next to the hammock where I was at. And then it got, but when I found it, it was on the ground, right where I would look when I sat down in the hammock and I looked down at my feet. It was right next to my foot. So he had put it on the picnic table, and then inexplicably it got knocked off of there to where I found it next to my foot, because my dad wanted me to find it and have that experience, not if somebody else found it and put it out for me. You see what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So thank you, Dad. because I'd really felt left out when everybody else was getting these and I didn't get one. So thanks, Dad, for that. But there's more to him though. Just before I think a couple of nights before I left, I was my sister's house is has an extension built onto it, Florida room. From the Florida room, you can look and you can see this picture of this on my Telegram channel. You look through the dining room into the living room at the front of the house. So I was sitting in the lazy boy looking towards the front of the house. It's about 10:45 at night. Everybody's in their rooms. My brother-in-law's in his man cave. My sister's in her bedroom. And I see a figure walk from my sister's room across towards my brother-in-law, where my brother-in-law's watching TV. And all I could see was like a shadow because it was dark, lights were all off. I saw a torso. I didn't see the head for some reason. I saw a torso and I saw two legs moving silently along. My first thought wasn't that this was something supernatural. Because that's not the first thing you think of when you see a shadow walking. I thought it was my sister going over to talk to my brother-in-law. After 3 or 4 minutes, I didn't hear any talking and nobody came walking back. I jumped up from where I was at and ran into my brother-in-law's room to see if who had walked in there. There was nobody there. So then I go into my sister's room. She's in bed scrolling, and I say, "Hey, I just saw an apparition. I'm not going to call it a ghost because I was thinking about my father right at that moment." So my dad's not a ghost. He's not trapped in this plane. He's making appearances and doing things for a reason. So it was an apparition, an appearance. He manifested himself walking across. And that's the first time I've seen anything like that since my mother's father passed away when I was 7. And I saw something very, very similar. I saw his silhouette, almost like the Alfred Hitchcock, like
Mm.
profile of him standing in the doorway, and he appeared to a bunch of us like that. But so that's the first like apparition of someone who's passed away I've seen in what 50 some years. And that was pretty cool, I have to say. Oh, how long have I been on now? An hour and a half already?
Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, because I like I said, I just had to talk about all this stuff. I wanted to get all this out. Oh, I got a couple more things I want to say. Um, so I often talk about how I've created this bubble of protection for myself here in Thailand. By the way, somebody had a comment that they thought that I may have come under some kind of DEW attack in America, and that when I went to Harrisburg, and that's why my SIM cards didn't work. Um, I don't think it was that. I think it was what I said, something that my higher self had caused to happen, so I could have this experience. But who knows? Something weird did happen there because I was outside of this bubble of safety, this protection that I have around myself here in Thailand. And when I first got to America, I felt like I had to rebuild that once I got there. And then when I got back home, because I hadn't been here maintaining that, everything was in disarray. For one thing, I got a new floor, which I would love to show you guys, but it's a solid floor now. For the first time, I can walk across my floor and not feel like I'm going to fall through. So the this place is better than ever. It was really bad getting back because I couldn't find anything. Nothing was where it was supposed to be. even all my animals had like a different kind of attitude from me having been gone. And it took some time for me to get it back into play. So, oh, one last thing, and then I'm gonna stop talking about my trip. Coming home, I brought back a bunch of extra luggage. This stick, which is considered you know odd size, so it had to get special. I had to pay. I thought I should have paid extra for that. These two fans that I brought back from America, because we don't have box fans like that here, and my baggage was overweight. So I was expecting to pay something extra for my extra luggage that I was bringing back. Maybe 150 is what I was hoping it would be, not more than that. At the counter, when I told the first lady there about my baggage, she says, that's going to be an extra $300, which
Ooh,
take up almost all the money that I had, like half the money that I had left over from this trip. And I was shocked and a little bit dismayed. And then she told me, go over and talk to this other, my colleague over here, and she'll take your money. So I go over there and she looks in the computer and then she goes, okay, here are your receipts. These are important to get your luggage, your extra luggage, and don't lose these. And she says, no extra charge.
what?
I look at my sister and she looks at me and we didn't say anything. The woman over here just told us it was going to be $300. This woman said no extra charge. I walk away with my sister. I said, how the fuck was that? Is that possible? And she's like, I don't know. I said, Moran, this is yet another example of how I manifest things. Still to this
Wow.
day, I have no explanation why that $300 fee just vanished. And I was able to get my stuff at no extra fee. So
The
that's
universe.
about it. I want to open take a look at the chat now and see, does anybody have any questions about what I just talked about? Is anybody still awake after that? And I
Your
would like.
card view can, if nobody's doing questions yet, you can reduce your card view a little bit.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's. I just wanted to show this off a little bit. I don't need this anymore. Put this over here. So yeah, this is my new system. No more do I have to, normally I would move the camera so you could either see me or the cards. You couldn't see both. Now for the first time, um, as I'm doing readings, you'll be able to see my face, and this is how I'm going to do for my private readings from now on. Because so often it's very important sometimes that you look at me as I'm speaking to you about what I'm telling you. So yeah, and then when I'm not using it, I can just fold it up in the corner over there, and it's out of the way. So that's pretty cool, huh?
I like it, but it's a little large right now.
No, I you'll see. I just put it in the corner.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it. You did.
Yep. And so right now, I would like to invite anybody with any questions for the cards. If you still have any questions after that long hour and a half monologue that I just did, um, but that was my debrief. Kind of had to get that out of my system. And I would really appreciate some coffees since that's another way for me to have money for living. So if anybody has any questions or super chats, right now my because I haven't been able to get on YouTube much. I don't have much coming this month. So I'd really appreciate it if I could get a super chat or buy me a coffee, but do not use like Zelle or PayPal for these. Yeah, like right now, if I check I don't even think I've made $100 yet for this month, which is yeah, right now I'm only at $71 on YouTube, and I have to get hit $100 to get paid anything. So, Shree, not you,
You knew I was doing it, didn't you?
enough.
I
You,
was just going to hit the button.
nope. That's why,
Wow.
because I'm not talking to you, Shree. But anybody else out there, if you could hit me up with a super chat with a question for the cards, I would love to do that for you, or buy me a coffee. And is Stacy on? Probably not. Haven't seen her there.
I haven't seen her.
Um, yeah, yeah, she's busy with her stuff. She didn't. Oh wait, um, I gotta refresh my screen. Now that maybe there's some chats here I haven't seen to refresh. Okay. And hello, Gigi. Gigi, I think we're supposed to be doing a session, right? Okay. Janet says cool. I think she's talking about my new studio that I have set up here.
The picture in picture.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked really well the other night when we had our reading together.
Well, that helped me figure out how I had to do it. Um, so thank you for that, Shireen. I appreciate that. But I
Oh, there's
hope,
Serena Magic.
what's that?
Serena Magic just hopped on.
Oh, hello, Serena. Thank you for being here. All right. And if anybody has any questions, but they can't afford the super chat or the coffees, let me know. I'd like to answer it for you. Sheree, you got anything?
Um,
Oh, yeah,
no,
Serena.
weekend went really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
you just had a big trip too. At the same time I was on my trip, you were doing a big trip to Oregon. Oh, excuse me. Hold on a second. Kathleen says, how to buy me a coffee. Let me drop that in the chat for you. Oh, actually, let me do an explanation on that because that's a good question. A lot of people get confused on how to do this. So let me pull this up for you and show you guys how to do it because a lot of people have trouble with this. Okay. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to share screen. Okay. So now one easy way to get there is you can go to my website, which I'll put in the chat right now. Let me see. Is it Neonica has a super chat? Thank you. I'll get to that in just a minute. Let me put this in. So here's the link to buy me a coffee. Okay. And here's what you do when you get there. You open buy me a coffee. You can open that link. This one. First, you got to sign in or sign up if you haven't signed in before. Which one is mine? This one. Let me see. How do I go back? Try this again. So you go to buy me a coffee, and it should.
Yeah, normally it brings up that little box and asks you
I,
coffee.
let me see how to do that. Is this it? Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
when you click here to this is where you type in your um email. Okay. So it's not mine, it's your email. You can write something here. And then this is one coffee, which is $5, $15, $25, or here on this one, you can type in however many. So for example, if you want to pay for $50 for or let's say if you want to do pay for an hour, that's $85. What's that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That's how many coffees is that? 10 plus 9 is 19 coffees, right? So then you would type in 19, and that would be $85 if I did my math right. Okay. Um, but if you want to just do it today to get your question in right now, that would be two, because I asked for $10 for a reading by coffee. Right. So you put in two, that's $10. You could send that to me right now. I could do a question for you right now, or you do it by super chat as Yannicka did. And she has a question here. Any messages from the universe for me? I'll be glad to ask the cards. Great. And thank you for allowing me to get it all out, because, yeah, that's what I had to do. Okay, so thank you very much, Yannicka Hoffman. That name sounds familiar. I think I've done a private reading for you in the past. It's a unique name. Oh, and let me stop sharing my cards up here where you can see them. And that still looks good, Tree, the way my cards are.
well, on Zoom it does. I'm waiting for
Oh yeah,
YouTube to
it's
catch
gonna,
up
yeah,
with us.
yeah. But you get a preview on Zoom. So it looks okay on Zoom. And this is for
Um,
Yannicka.
yep, looks good. It's cutting you
What
off a little bit.
message does the universe? What was that, Sherry?
It's cutting your face off a little bit, but it's not that bad.
Is it doing it still?
Yeah, if you can move it,
Let's see if I turn it that way, does that help? Or is it worse?
just a minute. Wait for YouTube to catch up with us.
But what do you see on your Zoom screen?
On my Zoom screen, it's right over your right shoulder. On YouTube, it's
Right?
two.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, now it's over your face more. So go the opposite direction.
Okay, go the other way. Okay. So it's for Yannicka. Hope I'm saying your name correctly. What message does the universe have for you today? Okay, this first card represents you, Yannicka, and where you are right now. Oops, let's turn that the other way. And that is Page of Pentacles. Oh, wow, an Ace of Wands. It's time for you to start some kind of new project in your life, Yannicka. Something that you're passionate about. Maybe the timing now is perfect for this. And Are you an artist of some sort? Wow, look at that. Another page. And page of cups and justice. So, Yannicka, do you have any type of art that you love to do, and or it could be something as simple as maybe cooking for people, cooking for family that you love, or but it's something new, something that you're starting something new. This is something that you felt very passionate about for a long time, but for some reason in the past, maybe your time's been taken up by um, responsibilities to family or work or something like that. But now's the time to put those things aside and to do something that is just for you, something that you've been wanting to do for a long time. It's like you've been inspired to do this thing. And this is something that's going to lead to opening doors for you because people are going to see you in a different light when you do this. They're going to see how happy it makes you. And this is going to in turn make you more charismatic in some way. There because this is kind of like what happened to me when I went home. I was so happy to be there that people saw this in me. They saw this light and love that was just exuding from me, and it was infectious. And it affected them the same way. It maybe have something to do with caring for people who really need a tender um, love and affection. Could be young children, but it could be anybody who's um, been suffering because they feel like they're misunderstood by the world. Even if it's just telling people that you meet to have hope and be happy. Um, but
She
this is
says,
a time for you to shine. What's that, Cherie?
she says that she's an artist and she makes spirit drums and much more. And she has have not in over a year, moving family,
Mm.
death.
Hmm. It's time for you to take this the spirit drums and actually put it into action. As you said that, I realized this looks like a drumstick, okay, or beating a drum. It's time for you to initiate drum circles in your community. It's a time for you are to be the one who, not necessarily the leader, but a driving force in getting this to happen. And through these drum circles, and I, I'm assuming that's what you do with your drums. Um, you're going to be helping people release emotions that can be, pent up emotions that can be released, but by the drums, putting it into the drum and getting it out into the universe and bringing a balance into people's lives. So now's the time, Yannicka, to take whatever idea that you have for your spirit drums. Is that what she called it,
Correct.
Cherie?
Yep.
And put it into action. Take these drums that you make and the people who have them and and put them into action in some way that gives people purpose for their passion. All right.
She says drum circle sounds fun. Thank you.
All right. I think something like that is what you need to be doing with it. Thank you for that, Yannicka. Okay, that was fun.
That was really neat. Spirit drums. Wish she
Yeah, I
was
love.
close so I could see about them.
What was that comment, Sheree?
I wish she lived close so I could see some of them.
Yeah, I have to admit, back in the day, like my one of my first experiences with a drum circle was I can put my cards away now. And here's the good thing about this. When I don't need it, I can just put it up in the corner there.
There you
And
go.
I want to get my tiger back into view here. Yeah, my first experience with drum circle was one of annoyance because I was at a an Appalachian Trail reunion. It was a trail days called Trail Days, and I was trying to sleep, and this drum circle went on all night, and it really annoyed the hell out of me. And that was my first experience with drum circles. But now that I understand much better about what the circles are, and I would love to be involved in one because it looks like a lot of fun.
Definitely.
So I've changed my attitude towards drum circles.
Sandy jumped on and she said she didn't know why she didn't get a notification, but she's with us.
Oh, I'm glad you're here, Sandy. Sandy Nichols, right? Is that, did I get that
Sandy
name?
Nightingale.
Nightingale. I'm thinking, yeah,
Mm.
that's who I was thinking of, Sandy, when I said that. So let me see. Do I have, there we go. Have the chat. Got to refresh it. Okay. I don't see. All right. So, I
Gigi
think
is that Gigi is saying, I don't understand your timing availability. I would love a reading.
all right. Well, you know what, Gigi? I'll go ahead and do that for you right now. This is what I'm going to do. And maybe this will help other people too. Gigi, do you know your email address and can you type it into the chat right now? And Cherie, if you could keep an eye out for Gigi's email address. Some people don't
Okay.
know if you're on this, if you're watching this, you have an email. And if you don't realize that, then I understand because some people just don't. But give her a minute for this message to catch up to her. Or you know what? I have it. I have your email, so I'll look it up myself. Because I know you've been wanting to book with me, and you had somebody was supposed to help you, never did. Now I've only got one GG in my contact list, and it's GG Jonathan at gmail.com. Is that you, Gigi? Just wait for her reply. And ask Gigi, sharing again, what time would she like to book?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
All right.
Oh,
So
yep.
give her a minute.
She says, yes, that's me.
Okay, great. So Gigi, now you know I've got your email. Tell me where you are, which time zone you're in. There's a bit of a delay. Wait for her to get back to me on that. I'll look at my world clock so I know what time zone you're in. And once I know that, then I'll book it for you. Maybe I can figure it out from my last booking with her.
Okay, she says she's in Salt Lake City, Utah, which
Okay,
I think
that's
that's
mountain
still
time.
Yeah, that's still mountain time.
Okay. That's same as you, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let me figure it out here.
Yep,
World clock.
it's eight.
Since you're on the line, I'll just ask you for the correct time. So, Gigi, which day and time would you like to book? I'm available from Cherie. What time was it 2 hours ago where you're at? 7:30 my time was what time for you?
Six
7:30.
thirty.
Oh, 6:30 p.m.
Yep, 6:30 p.m.
Okay. So I'm available, Gigi, from 6:30 p.m. until any time at night. So my earliest time for you would be 6:30 p.m., which is 7:30 a.m. my time. So which day would you like to book? Just wait for her to answer on that. And the days that I have available are, let's see, not Tuesday, or so these are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, starting next Monday again on the 30th. So Gigi, which day would you like to book? Wait for a reply. Lost my
Okay, she said 6:30 p.m. would work beautifully.
okay.
Thursday at 6:30 would be perfect.
So that's Friday my time since I'm a day ahead. Okay, so I'll
Mhm.
come to my booking app here. Okay, so that's the she said Thursday, right?
Correct. Thursday at
So
6:30.
so right. So that would be for me, June 27th, 7:30 a.m. I'm gonna just type her name in here. Gigi. And then your email address is got that right here. I'll type that in. And I'm gonna stop sharing while I do this. Got to make sure I get it right. Gigi Jonathan. Okay. So, Gigi, I've got you booked for 30 minutes. Is 30 minutes enough time for you, Gigi? Yeah, you don't have to answer that now. We can work that out later. Um, and then later on, I'm going to send you a Zoom link, or it'll be a Google Calendar invitation to a Zoom meeting. And then if you have any more questions, and Gigi, if you could give me your phone number, not here, don't do it here in this chat. Send me an email with your phone number or join this Telegram group so I can contact you. I know you may have trouble understanding how to do that. So just give me your phone number so I can contact you to make things easier so we can meet. All right, Gigi? And don't worry about payment right now. I can help you figure that out during the Zoom call. Right? Is there anybody else who would like to book with me and has trouble doing it? I could do it for you right now. Other than
Ricky,
that,
Sta-
go ahead,
Ricky
Sheree.
Stacy, Ricky Stacy just hopped on.
Oh, hi, Stacy. Thanks for being here. I think I'm gonna end this now. Once again, I gotta figure out how to do that. I closed my studio.
And Kathleen just said I paid $20 with Cash App for Buy Me a Coffee. So check your
Oh,
Buy Me.
that's the one who just. Okay. I heard that. I heard that ding dong. Let me let me go check it out. Oh, and yeah, I see the Cash App. So she used Cash App, not Buy Me a Coffee. Is that correct?
And she used Cash App to buy you a coffee.
Well, they're two
So,
different things, but I see her on Cash App. Let me pull this up right now.
oh, okay.
And
She's just saying it's kind of like buy me a coffee. Okay.
it's right. It's
So
like buying right Cash App. This and by the way, this is the first time I received a Cash App. Please confirm. Would you like to receive this $20 payment from Kathleen Greaves? Grieve. Yes, I would. I will confirm that. That's really cool. That's the first time I've gotten a Cash App. And let's see, did you send me a message there, Kathleen?
she said, I hope I did it correctly. My question
Yeah.
is
Okay, yeah,
dot
yeah.
dot.
You got your question there? Because
She has,
I don't see it in the app itself. So go ahead and write your question in the chat, Kathy. Did I say your name right? Kathleen. And I'll do that for you right now. Wow, that's great. Thank you.
learned something new again.
Uh-huh. That's a first. I love first time things, you know. So that was a first. So really cool. I appreciate that too. I'm gonna look at the chat myself. You know, see. And hi Russ, by the way. All right. So if you see Kathleen's question in the chat, can you read it to me?
I sure will. And I wanted to let Serena Magic know that Victoria absolutely loves her soap and her body butter.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Okay,
And
there it is.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, Kathleen's question is my significant other is on a rig in the Gulf. His contract is nearing an end. When will we be reunited?
Okay. Got it. Um, Once again, I have to say this, when questions are always really difficult. So I'm just going to look at in general your significant other hit on the I guess he's on an oil rig platform out in the Gulf of America. Love saying that. And and let's see what it looks like for you two coming together in the near future. That's how I'm going to do this. Hopefully, I can. I'll give you a win, but don't take it for literal, because I can tell you like if it's going to be sooner or later, pretty well, but I can't give you a date or something like that. Okay, it's Kathleen Grieve, her significant others out working hard on an oil rig. Uh, let's see what. So this first card is for you, Kathleen. That's the Six of Wands and Five of Cups for your significant other. Tell you what, he is done being out there, and it hasn't been fun for him working there, and he's ready to come home. I can tell you that right now. Here's challenges or unknown. Oops, do that. Close that. Now, here's the important card is the outcome. Be the outcome card. That's a six of pentacles. So that's everything coming together. He may have some kind of responsibilities that he has to take care of first, something that has to do with his work that may delay your reunion a little bit, but it's not going to be for long. And I can tell you this, when he finally gets to reunite with you again, he's going to have a lot of love to share with you. Um, I think it's going to be a great relief for him to finally get off of that rig and to take a break, a long break, and to recharge his batteries. Um, Now, if I were to say try to answer your question when this would happen, it may not happen immediately after his contract ends, or how did she say it? His time
Yeah, his contract is nearing an end.
is nearing an end. Okay, so there may be some delay in the time from when his contract ends to when you get reunited with him, but you definitely will be able to get back with him, and looks like he's going to have a lot of money to spend too when he gets back. Um, so that'll be a good time for you guys. Let me see. Oh yeah. Hmm. You say significant other, but any plans of getting married?
Mm.
Because that's a possibility. Uh, one way or another, this is gonna this indicates some kind of major step up in your relationship, um, getting more serious, and I think you may go from calling him significant other to something more than that in the near future. It's going to be I think he's ready to take your relationship to the next level. So that's something to think about. I hope I
Wow.
hope hope that's a positive thing for you to hear. Yes, she says.
No, I don't
And
have
once
anything.
again, thank you so much for that Cash App, $20. I got to figure out how that's going to work on my end. That's really cool. I've never first time
Yeah,
I've gotten a Cash App. Oh, I
she
tried
said
to get as many. What's that, Sheree?
she said she couldn't figure out buy me a coffee.
Yeah, a lot of people have that problem, and so yeah, I'm glad Cash App worked easily for you. That's really good to hear. Um, And the other one that I forgot to get was Venmo. A lot of people like to use Venmo because I can't download these apps in Thailand. They're blocked here. Um, so that's one I meant to add when I was in America. But what I do have is I have it now here. Zelle, PayPal, I have now. PayPal is finally working for me again, or for the first time. Um, If you have Bank of America, you can do a direct transfer to my Bank of America account. And yeah, it's great to have all these other options now for people because I've definitely lost clients in the past because they couldn't figure out buy me a coffee, or they didn't want to use uh, some of the other ones. I just sent you a heart there on Cash App, Kathleen, for that. That was great. And let me see, I got some other messages here, I think. I just heard another ding dong. Make sure it's not a buy me a coffee. Oh, it's a booking confirmation. I already did that. Okay, I think we're all caught up.
Looks like it.
No, I got okay, that's it. So I think I'm all done here. Thank you, Cherie, for hanging out with me while I did this.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I'm glad we're both home where we belong.
Yeah. Oh boy, I tell you what, coming home to Thailand, it's never been so clear that this is where I'm supposed to be. Um, I went on a rant that day when I was talking about my mom. One of the things I ranted about was America is extremely wasteful place as far as like people buying stuff they don't need and the huge portions of food that come and I just saw from my sister, like my sister's pantry, she had 10 different kinds of breads
You
and just I know my sister's not going to see this, but if she did, she would understand. I was shocked one day when I saw her come home from a hard day's work. My sister works really hard. I mean, she's a hairdresser and she spends like hours and hours and hours on her feet. And then she comes home and she's such a devoted, caring wife to her husband, my brother-in-law. She comes home this day after working so hard, and she didn't know that I'd already had a burrito for dinner that night. And she cooks a half pound of hamburger with taco seasoning, and she's got all the ingredients for tacos out there. She goes, "Hey, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. This is for you and Yusuf, that's her husband. And you can make your tacos and then she goes to bed. And I wasn't hungry. He obviously wasn't hungry. He didn't eat. And that hamburger that she just cooked just sat there on the stove all night. And then in the
Oh,
morning, she just dumped it into the garbage. And
um,
to me, that's a sin. I mean,
yeah.
especially there have been times when I didn't have any food to eat, and to think that she's back in America just cooking food and throwing it away. And
Mm.
meanwhile, there's people in this world, me included, who are going to bed hungry at night. I mean, I'm sorry, Maria, I love you, but that's a sin that you're doing by doing that. And I wondered how many other Americans live like this, just throw food away. They have buy more food than they could possibly eat. And then when its expiration date comes, they just toss it away. I cleaned her refrigerator out for her. I found three or four of the same items just in different stages of use, where she would just, instead of looking in her fridge and seeing what she has, she just buy a new one.
Oh my God.
And it's like these people have too much money that they can just waste it like this. And then when we ate out, when she was didn't want to cook, and I couldn't cook in her kitchen because it was just I just couldn't figure out how to cook in her kitchen. I finally did end up cooking a steak or two, but they would order out, and then these meals for three or four of us would be over $100, and the portions would be so large I couldn't eat it all, and not healthy food at all. And I'm like, wow, is this an example of how all Americans live? Because this is not good. It's not good for the
No,
world. It's not good for their health. It's not good for the global economy. Well, it's good for the people, I guess, who are making the money from it. But
oh, you'd be
anyway,
surprised by my refrigerator. It's always almost empty. 'Cause I buy
I
what I'm going to fix and I fix it and I eat it.
I think most of my audience is like us that way too. But I don't know. It's just this wastefulness of just like, yeah, throw it away. Anyway, I not judging, just an observation. Well, I guess I am judging since I said it was a sin. It's a sin to throw away food. That is a sin in my book. I'm not sure which of the commandments it breaks, but it's a sin. I'm sorry. As somebody who went hiking the Appalachian Trail, every calorie I ate was so important. And as somebody who's been to where I could only afford to eat once a day at one point, I don't throw food away. I never throw food away. If it sat in my fridge for over 3 days, then I'd get rid of it for health purposes. Okay, that's it. I'm not gonna preach to you guys anymore. I know you're probably sick of hearing it. Russ, what have you got to say? I'm always curious as to what you have to say. And go back and find what your original comment was. Say hello, hello, and you have something here because those involved can change outcomes with their free will. Predicting time schedules accurately are really impossible. Oh, okay. He's talking about, yeah. Yeah. Tug of Light, hello. Why didn't either? Look, she said, why didn't either of you put it in the fridge? It was left out because my brother-in-law, I thought he was gonna be eating it. By the time she dumped it into the garbage, it was too late. I couldn't take it out of the garbage after she dumped it in. But no, you're absolutely right. Tug of Light. Why didn't she just put it in a container? I mean, it was out overnight, but I'm sure it wasn't bad. I don't know. I don't know any of the reasons behind a lot of the things that I saw happening there. Absolutely. Tug of Light. I agree with you. But like I said, when she picked it up and I didn't realize that she was going to just dump it into the garbage like that, if I'd known it, I would have stopped her and I would have done something. I mean, as it was, I was always going through her fridge and eating leftovers, even stuff I didn't really want to eat, just because I didn't want it to go to waste. And I was trying to help save money. So that's the reason for that. But okay. So you understand. All right, I'm going to end this transmission now, and thank you guys for listening. Thank you for letting me get this stuff out, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the Cash App there, and thank you for the bookings. Two new bookings I got coming up, Karen and Gigi. Gigi, I'm so glad we finally got you booked, dear. I'm going to be sending you, Gigi, if you're still listening, I'm going to be sending you a Google Calendar invitation. Click yes on that. Okay. That will help me know that you know the time and date. And that will also contain in it the Zoom link for you as well. All right, Cherie, I'm going to say good night.
Good night, everybody, and great to see you all again. And thank you for inviting me, Scott.
Well, thank you for being here. Good night,
You're very welcome.
Colleen, Sandy, Russ. Always appreciate seeing you here, brother.
Serena Magic and Tug of Light, and thank everybody for being here.
I
Now that
love
we're back from
JW's comment. Everyone will be abundant soon. I know that's true. Okay. Um, and everybody else who was in the chat, thank you for listening. And Tug of Light says, I cook for my husband who gets home after midnight and he's trained to put everything he doesn't finish into the fridge. Good girl. All right. On that note, don't waste food, people. Remember, there are people in Thailand, myself included, who may be going hungry that day. No, I don't have that problem anymore, but there are people right down the street from me who do. So think about that whenever you throw out food. There are people in this world who are starving and you're throwing away good food. I know most of you aren't like that, but you have people in your family who are. So let's put an end to the waste of food. Wow, 266 people got on at some point during this broadcast. Thanks. Oh, and
Good.
I haven't spoken with her yet, but I'm hoping Honey will be on next week. Um, I need to ask her what was going on in my cat when I felt that vibration when I touched her, and also I want to get a message from her from my cat if she can, because I can't really do it myself.
Understandable.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for being
Good
here.
night. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, it's my pleasure. All right, I'm done.